1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
It's a midweek MAC showdown between two teams trying to climb the ranks of the conference. Both teams 3-3 in conference play, looking to prevail to winning ways. Miami on a one-game losing streak, as Akron is on a two-game losing streak. Welcome to the RedHawk Radio pregame show. I'm your host, Gavin Stark. About 17 minutes until tip-off here at an exciting game here. Miami hosting the Akron Zips. Let's just go over the leading scores to start off this one. Miami's Angelina Gonzalez, she has been flawless so far through the season and just gotten better and better throughout the season and just prevailed really in MAC play so far this year. 16.9 points per game, and also was just named the MAC Player of the Week. Congratulations, Angelina, on that accolade there. More to come from her, and just definitely expecting a good outing from her. She's really facilitated the ball well, has the ball in her hands a lot of the time, and scores super efficiently, whether it's shooting the ball or just getting to the rim, which she really likes to do. She also gets to the line at willing ease most of the time, so she has been a star breakout this year, and expect to see a lot from her. And on the Akron side, Alexis Mobley averaging 12.8 points per game from the Zips. Something to point out with the Akron Zips is that they don't have a true leading scorer, you should say. They all average roughly in the same ballpark. 12.8 points per game, though, by Alexis Mobley is the most for Akron. And then on a rebounding side for Miami, of course, Amber Treader. She has been dominant throughout the season, averaging 7.8 rebounds per game, and just continues to produce with scoring the ball, rebounds, and just that a really good sophomore, and just has gotten better since last season. Obviously, we expected that. We expected her to be the best player, and she really has been, I would say. And for Akron, Shelby Brown, 7.9 rebounds per game, so just about the same as Amber Treader there. Assist-wise, Tamar Singer averaging 3.9 assists per game, as Akron's Zakiya Rashid averaging 2.7 assists per game. So both teams really not big in the assist department there, but Tamar Singer leads that one with 3.9 assists per game. The favorite tonight is your Miami RedHawks, coming in as a 82% chance of winning on ESPN, but both teams coming off of road losses, so that is something to point out. Both trying to right the ship the right way and get to a winning record in the MAC at 4-3, both sitting 3-3 right now. We'll be back after this break. You're listening to the pregame show with RedHawk Radio. Back here with the RedHawk pregame show. Just kind of want to go over a little bit of what Glenn Box has recently said after this road trip that they've gone on to start off MAC play. Glenn Box, quote, "We got a tough draw. We haven't really been home much, so it's been hard for the players and him as well and the coaching staff. This team has played one home game in their last couple of games, and their last one was 11 days ago against Bowling Green, where they shot the ball well. They really shot it well, won by a convincing 15, had the lead throughout the whole entire game, so they looked really well at home. But coming off that tough loss to, as of right now, the best team, Buffalo, at 15-2, so kept that one close. This team hasn't gotten blown out in MAC play. They've really competed really well. Sitting at 3-3, this is a team that you're looking to make a jump tonight, and this is a good starting point here home. Students are coming back. The vibes are good here at Millett Hall, so definitely expect for Miami to use that to their advantage tonight. In that last home game here against Bowling Green, you saw Maya Chandler, the senior SMU transfer, with a 25-point outing, her career high at Miami. Just absolutely shot the ball amazing. Did about everything that you could ask and more for Glenn Box and his crew. I mean, she looked brilliant. It's kind of just something that you really want to see more out of her, that experience that she brings to this team, scoring the ball really well, facilitating really well, and also just using her size to get down there in the paint and get some rebounds that you wouldn't expect most guards to get. Glenn Box also has talked about how he wants to play his bench more and more, so my expectation tonight is to see a lot of rotation off of the bench, maybe see more players come in and out and get some more rest as needed, breathers, whatever it is. I mean, this is a team that is deep and can play deep, play about up to 11 players even. I mean, you got young talent all over the court, all over the place, and then you've got experienced guards as well that just kind of sit on the bench and don't play as much as they used to for this team. So it's exciting. You can see some more rotation going more into MAC play, and especially tonight. Some players to watch tonight. I've listed down Tamar Singer. She's really just been the leader in assists, as we spoke earlier, and also just a brilliant facilitator itself. She takes the ball down the court most of the time, really runs the offense through her. So Tamar Singer's a big name to look at tonight as you guys listen to this broadcast. Angelina Gonzalez, of course, the reigning MAC Player of the Week. She's just been a great scorer and amazing for this offense, and really just the spark that this team needs most of the time. She kind of gets to the paint with ease, can shoot the ball really well. She's got a really good mid-range floater that she uses a lot. So Angelina Gonzalez, definitely another name. And of course, Amber Treader, who's been brilliant down in the paint, shoots the ball well, stretches the floor with her size, and has been just, once again, brilliant throughout this season, and another young leader for this Miami offense and defense. And on the Akron side, Alexis Mobley, she is obviously their leading scorer, but with averaging 12.8 points per game. But expect her to really have the ball in her hands a lot tonight and facilitate the offense through her mostly. And Tanisha Clark, another really good player for Akron, as well as Shelby Brown, who's probably arguably their best player, I would say. So Shelby Brown, definitely another name to keep an eye out for. Just a little going over the game once again. The RedHawks have gone 5-2 at home. Miami ranks 6th in the MAC with 13.4 assists per game, led by Tamar Singer, averaging nearly 4 assists per game. So that number looking to go up, just sitting kind of in the middle of the MAC right now with the assist margin, but looking to rise that up throughout MAC play and starting out tonight. The Zips are 3-3 in MAC play, just like Miami is. Akron has a 5-7 record against teams above 500. Obviously, Miami above 500, sitting at 10-6. So another thing to look out for. Only 5-7 against teams above 500. Miami is shooting 42% from the field this season, 1.8% higher than 41% that Akron allows to opponents. Akron averages 6.3 made three-pointers per game this season, 0.3 fewer makes per game than Miami gives up. this matchup today is the first meeting of the season between these two teams. They will play again later on in the season at Akron, so just a different location there later on in the season. So this will just be the first one. Some more top performers for Miami and Akron. Starting off, Tamar Singer, like I was saying, she's only averaging 6.2 points per game, so she doesn't really strike you there in the points per game, but 3.9 assists leading the team, and also 2 steals for the RedHawks. That's another big thing on the defensive end. She guards the point guard and plays point guard, so ball in her hands a lot of the time. Tamar Singer's a name that you're going to hear a lot tonight, whether it's scoring or playing defense or just running the offense through her. Shelby Brown averaging 10.4 points per game, but 8 rebounds as well and 2 steals, so almost nearly a double-double for Shelby Brown. She's been amazing throughout this season for Akron and really a bright spot for them, their best player. The last 10 games, RedHawks 6-4, averaging 60 points per game and 29 rebounds, 12 assists, 10 steals, and 3 blocks per game while shooting 41% from the field. Their opponents have averaged 55.4 points per game. And then on the Zips, 6-4 as well, averaging 67 points per game, 34 rebounds, 12 assists, 6 steals, and 4.2 blocks per game while shooting 42% from the field. So just slightly better numbers there for the Zips. Their opponents have averaged 65 points per game, though, so defensively the Zips do struggle a little bit, but offensively they've been a little bit better than the RedHawks statistically. Nearing in on game time, about 6 minutes away from tip. I will close out for now on the pregame show. I'm Gavin Stark. Listen back at halftime for the halftime show, but you will be listening to Luke West Poley and Andrew Relvas. So long for now. Thanks for listening to the RedHawk pregame show.
From Millett Hall in Oxford, some Wednesday night women's hoops on deck here from the campus of Miami University. Couple of 500 teams in the MAC with a chance to get back over the 500 mark into winning record territory tonight as the Miami RedHawks take on the Akron Zips. Alongside Andrew Relvas, Luke West Poley with you. Couple of teams that have had up and down starts to MAC play. For Miami, inconsistencies have plagued them, most recently in a loss to Buffalo that saw the RedHawks blow a late lead. For Akron, they have been ravaged by injury, down to 9 healthy players. Went an unorthodox route to fill out the roster, including picking up a member of the volleyball team, and they cruise into Oxford hoping to get over 500 here tonight. We'll step aside for National Anthem. Be back in just a moment. Scott Shriver takes over on your public address. Miami and Akron coming your way here tonight from Oxford. RedHawks enter the night 10-6 overall after a strong non-conference showing from Glenn Box and crew. RedHawks 3-3 in the MAC. Most recently, as mentioned, a loss to Buffalo on Saturday. RedHawks had a pretty hefty lead late in that game and went ice cold, did not score over the final 7 minutes and change en route to a road loss. For Akron on the other side, 9-9 overall, 3-3 like the RedHawks in the Mid-American Conference. And Akron most recently coming off a matchup against preseason favorite Ball State, in which they fell in Muncie 80-57. Starting lineups for each team for the Miami RedHawks, it's Maya Chandler, defending MAC Player of the Week, Angelina Gonzalez, Tamar Singer, Amber Treader, and Ilsa DeFries that round out the starting 5 for Glenn Box and his crew. Second-year head coach on the other side, Ryan Gensler, came to the Akron staff from the University of Illinois. He will have Lisa Tappan in his starting lineup tonight, along with Lexus Mobley, the player to watch, along with Shelby Brown for the Zips offensively. Emily Hall in the starting lineup, along with Zakia Rashid to round things out for Akron. Again, a team that has had to go with a lot of different looks this season. They have been without Ella Weigel throughout the entirety of this year, the Liberty transfer that Coach Gensler and crew were hoping to potentially be their leader this year in terms of offense, and that injury luck has carried over into the regular season as they have lost a number of pieces that, again, have resulted in picking up a couple of tryout walk-ons mid-season. For this RedHawk team, they've stayed largely healthy, which has helped, and again, a pretty strong non-conference showing from Glenn Box and the RedHawks. But as Coach Box put it in the RedHawk Hoops report yesterday afternoon, he said, we're in a position where we can win every game, we can lose every game. Talent-wise, this team stacks up with some of the best in the MAC. However, the effort and the focus level that the RedHawks have had has not always been there.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, some of these games, the RedHawks have been right there with the big dogs, the Buffaloes, the Ball States. They've been in those tight games, and sometimes they just run out of gas. And I think a lot of Miami fans forget this is the second year of the Glenn Box era. Plenty of young talent on tap here. We've seen so many flashes from Angelina Gonzalez. We've seen it all from Amber Treader, who has really been a really solid contributor in her sophomore season. And the time is now for the RedHawks, and hopefully trying to make a run here with the second half of MAC play on tap soon.
Miami and Akron, couple of teams that score around in the mid-60s. And again, just not a ton that has stuck out on either side. There's just been a lot of inconsistency between these two squads. A lot of wins they can feel really good about, a lot of losses they feel like they could have had. And perhaps none of those stung more for the RedHawks than the one they suffered on the road against Buffalo, having a double-digit lead and being outscored by nearly 20 points in the final quarter to drop that game to the Bulls. Akron here on the road will wear the dark uniforms in navy blue with the tan Akron in block text along the front. Tan numbers on the front and back, and a tan stripe down the side. For Miami, they go with the home white uniforms. They worked for the men's team yesterday. We'll see if they work for the women here tonight. Script red Miami on the front with block names and numbers on the back, and the block number on the front of the jersey as well. The white bottoms with the red accent marking along the bottom of the shorts. Lisa Tappinen, the junior Finn, will take the tip-off against Miami's Amber Treader. Crowd up to their feet, anticipating that first Miami basket. Ball lofted up into the air. Tappinen wins back the tip-off, and we are underway here from Oxford. Settle back and enjoy Miami and Akron, couple of teams looking to move into winning record territory here on Wednesday night. Zips move it to the offensive end, and from right of the key, it's Tappinen with a short feed across for Alexis Mobley. Overhead pass to the near wing, Rashid looking for a post entry, but that's well covered by Treader. 10 to shoot around the arc to the far side, dribbling Brown. Hands off for Mobley. Thought about the pull-up, stumbled inside. Now she's tied up, pulls it free, and knocks it off the glass and in. Shelby Brown got to that loose ball, and Akron nearly gave up a held ball there, but instead will pick up the game's first points. 44 seconds in. Meanwhile, the other way, DeFries drives inside, tossed it over top the basket from the far block, and it's tapped out of bounds by Akron on the rebound. It'll stay on that end of the floor. Maya Chandler will provide the inbound. 12 points for her in the loss against Buffalo. RedHawks will go around the arc up top for Angelina Gonzalez. To the far wing, slashing across, Singer feeds near side, 3 in the air from Chandler. That rattles off the iron. Battle for the rebound, ball ends up on the floor, and Emily Hall scoops it up for the Zips. Pushing it from right to left, try to go behind the back on the dribble, lost the basketball. Zips get it back, and now it's Rashid on the near wing, overhead feed inside, and missed her target by a couple of arms lengths. Lisa Tappinen, it goes out of bounds, and the RedHawks will take over.
Yeah, and that's a staple of Glenn Box. He preaches defense, and Miami forces an early turnover here in the first.
RedHawks, one of the most efficient teams at forcing turnovers in the Mid-American Conference. They've done it all year. From the far side, driving in, a pull-up from the left elbow for Maya Chandler, missed off left. Rebound picked up by the Zips' Alexis Mobley. Small guard, but she can rebound as well. Had 4 boards in the loss against Ball State on Saturday. Driving down the right lane, Shelby Brown swerves inside and draws the foul, working against the much taller DeFries inside.
Yeah, and Brown has been on a mission here, just trying to drive in the heart of this Miami defense and looking for a pair of free throws coming up, trying to make it 4-0 here.
First free throw drops through for Shelby Brown, 75% on the year. That's good enough for 12th in the MAC from the charity stripe. 3-0 Akron, 8:19 remaining opening quarter. Miami faithful still on their feet. Have to wait for the first basket to sink back down. Second free throw made as well. And Brown with all 4 Akron points, currently blanking the RedHawks. Approaching the 2-minute mark, Miami back to the offensive end, left elbow extended. Chandler tried to drive and just lost it on the way in, out of bounds into the Akron bench. It'll be a giveaway for the RedHawks, and Chandler will come off. Lucretia Edwards will make her first appearance of the night for Miami. And on the way up the floor immediately off the inbound, Emily Hall draws a foul, which will go against Tamar Singer, who's got her hands up in the air. Glenn Box doesn't love the decision as he leans back with both palms on the scorer's table, but Akron will inbound once again and carry it up the floor. We cross the 2-minute mark. It's 4-0 Zips. Emily Hall, the D3 transfer, carries it across the timeline on the right wing for Akron. Now just inside the arc right side, it's Shelby Brown. Cutting back and forth, Brown makes her way to the far block. She is being tarped by DeFries. Nearly threw it away to the outside. Now the RedHawks pluck it free and will get the steal. Singer surveys ahead, finds Gonzalez, swinging to the far corner. Edwards sidesteps, inserts to the paint. DeFries back up top. Singer a 3, pops off the rim, and the rebound picked up by Shelby Brown for Akron.
Really good looks there for the RedHawks, but just a little bit unlucky.
To the left corner. Hall holding next to her left hip. Gives up top for Rashid. Brown now prodding, makes her way into the paint. Bowls over the defender to draw the foul. Tossed it up, but it rolls off the iron. Angelina Gonzalez tried to draw the charge, but unable to do so and commits the foul. And 2 free throws coming up here for Shelby Brown. Memphis transfer's been very active so far tonight. Brown averaging about 10 points per game for the Zips this season. Former JUCO national champ in Northwest Florida, played 28 games for the Tigers last season at Memphis before transferring in. Drills the first free throw to make it 5-0 with 7:07 remaining in the opening quarter. The crowd begins to grow a little restless, still on their feet here in Oxford. Second foul shot in the air and catches net. Another 2-for-2 trip. Just one made field goal for Akron. That's their only attempt from the field. They're 4-for-4 from the stripe, all courtesy of Brown. Miami, meanwhile, has not gotten to the free throw line. They're 0-for-4 from the field. Across the 3-minute mark, it's 6-0 Zips. Corey Lard into the game for the RedHawks. And we'll give it to the far side for Gonzalez. Slashing it across, the MAC player of the week. Works her way inside. She fell down, but that was the result of a foul whistled on Akron. And the RedHawks will inbound and I believe get 10 more seconds here on the shot clock as the timer had gotten down to 10. It is now reset. Foul goes against Emily Hall, who picks up her first. Pass to the near wing. It's Gonzalez grabbing it just inside the three-point arc, and around the arc she goes to draw another foul. This time they will get Lisa Tappinen. Akron a little fortunate maybe there, as Hall was also involved in some contact with Angelina Gonzalez, but avoided picking up her second. Instead, it's Tappinen getting her first. Inbound for the near sideline, now goes up top, and Corey Lard's got her heels on the midcourt. M makes her way left elbow, pushes back to the top of the key, straightaway three, missed off the right side by Ilsa DeFries. But a foul away from the ball as that shot was being let go, and another Akron foul. And this has been a brutal defensive possession for the Zips, as they will have to defend again. Catch and shoot off the inbound, knocked down by Angelina Gonzalez from the mid-range on the near wing.
Bread and butter there for Angelina Gonzalez, MAC player of the week last week, and she just finds her zone and hits it. But kind of an unusual scenario there. 3 fouls on one possession for Akron, and I believe the fouls are pretty much evened up.
RedHawks will get in on the action, committing a foul meanwhile again right off the inbound. Miami just picked up their fourth as Corey Lard got called for it, and Glenn Box was not happy at all with his point guard and committing that one. Downhill down the right side, an offensive foul is whistled as Shelby Brown tried the drive. A moving screen called against Zakia Rashid.
You've seen a lot of fouls already, Luke. Both these two teams still trying to feel each other out, but pretty physical game in terms of fouling.
That's the 4th team foul in Akron, so now 4 apiece after we really didn't have one until about the last minute or so of game time. Teams have committed now 8 fouls in a pretty short amount of time. Corey Lard goes straight down the center of the court from left to right. And we'll give it up for Angelina Gonzalez, who heads left. Gonzalez head fakes, works inside, stops at the nail, and we'll roll it back out for Amber Treader. Treader picks her dribble up, and we'll give back for Gonzalez. 9 on the clock. Wants a screen, gets it, steps left, triggers a 3. That's long off the back iron. Offensive board, Treader, who puts her head down and steamrolls in to lay it in for 2. 6-4 Akron, 5:38 to go first quarter. Amber Treader's on the board. Rashid, left elbow extended off a screen. Looked like a partially tipped 3 hauled up there. And that is no good. RedHawks will grab it. Gonzalez runs the full length of the floor, tosses it up and gets fouled as she got hacked on the arm. The foul will go against Maddie Vasicki, the San Diego transfer.
And compared to last year's teams, the RedHawks really didn't have a super crafty guard. They had the Scott twins, but those were mainly forwards doing most of the scoring. You have Gonzalez here. She can really create a ton of offense and drawing some more fouls here, making some offensive things happening in a good way for the RedHawks early.
Get a brief stoppage as Gonzalez heads over to the bench. Looks like she's got some blood potentially on her finger. And she will be the free throw shooter, so that'll delay the game for a moment. RedHawks bring on Katie Richardson, and now Gonzalez is all good to go. Glenn Bach said, so nice to see Gonzalez finally come out of her shell a little bit after really didn't get to showcase her skills a ton previous couple years at Mercer. Buries the first free throw and dealt with a whole ton of injury issues. Her first couple years of college basketball, missed all of last season, but has really grown in confidence over the last couple months, and it has shown. She misses the second free throw, so Akron will stay in front for now. It's 6-5 Zips with 5:16 remaining opening quarter. Down the right side, Hall. Fake the one-handed pass to the corner. Now she'll give it there. Mobley heads back towards midcourt. And will chest pass it for Vasicki. To the top of the key, Vasicki finds a cutting Hall. Floater in the lane. Off the left side of the orange. And a fight for the rebound and a foul against the RedHawks. Richardson will get called for it, and that should mean some foul shots here for Akron. It will be, and it will be Naira Clark, the freshman out of Toledo, Ohio, and Rogers High School, to take the shots. First one up off the back iron, pops in the air and in. So Clark got a spot couple minutes in the last game but did not score. Has her first points tonight, and the second free throw is missed, but an offensive rebound by Akron and Mobley. She gets tied up. RedHawks do have the possession arrow, so they will get the ball, but good hustle nonetheless from a pretty undersized Mobley on the interior, just 5'7", to go to work on the offensive glass. Miami basketball when we come back. 4:59 to go first quarter. It's Akron 7 and Miami 5. Stay with us. You're listening to Miami basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Back after this. A second past the halfway mark. First quarter, it's Akron 7, Miami 5 here from Millett Hall. Alongside Andrew Relvas, Luke West Poley with you. RedHawks will be back in action this Saturday. That's the next time we'll be with you on the Red Hawk Radio airwaves as Miami takes on Kent State. Stay tuned for that here from Millett Hall. It will be a 1 o'clock start coming up on Saturday. And by that time, many of the students will be back here in Oxford with classes starting on Monday. They'll be back in full force for some home games next week. We're back underway as the RedHawks take it from left to right, and it's Amber Treader dribbling it on the outside. Chandler from the left elbow extended. Picks up her dribble and finds Gonzalez in the far corner. Not a whole lot going on for the RedHawks in this possession. 9 to shoot, rainbow pass to the near wing. Corey Lard comes down with it, driving in. Might have pushed off there. She sends Hall tumbling, pulls up from the mid-range. It rolls over the rim and flies off. A battle for the rebound and a jump ball as Treader wrestled with Emily Hall. And after the jump ball in the last possession arrow is now in favor of the Zips, and they will take over.
It's been interesting to see kind of the game plan to start out for Akron. Put their heads down, go to the cup, and try and draw some fouls. And for Miami, just trying to create some shots offensively. Both teams still a little bit rusty potentially, trying to get into this one.
Hall running the point for Akron. A deflection by Singer out near half court. Hall gathers it before it reaches the midway stripe. Now it's Mobley with it, crossing over, driving, left of the lane. Scoop out pass intercepted by Singer. Down the right side, Singer crosses the timeline, navigating the front court, hook pass to the far side, and a three drilled by Maya Chandler. Maya Chandler, a volume three-point shooter for the RedHawks, one of their best. And that pushes Miami to their first lead, 8-7 with 3:41 to go in the first half. Three looking to answer from the near wing, but Mobley cannot hit it. And the RedHawks have the board. Long pass ahead, Richardson got lost by the Akron defense and lays it in for two. Hall now races it from right to left, down the far side. And Tamar Singer is on her and pokes the ball away. Hall runs it down and now has her dribble picked up in front of the Miami bench. Handoff comes by way of Liz Murphy. And now Mobley spins away from a defender, works her way inside, pulls up for the MAC logo, and missed the shot. Treader soars in for the rebound for the RedHawks. Chandler, transition three now. That's off right. Treader with a long offensive rebound for the RedHawks who will reset. Now Chandler catches on the cut. She gets stuffed. And it will go out of bounds to Miami, it appears. Or did they get a foul? They did. It's against Nyra Clark. Ryan Gensler thought it was a clean block. Looked like she got all ball up top, but potentially some contact underneath at the hips between Clark and Chandler is what will send her to the free throw line for two shots. With Miami in front 10-7, 2:53 to go in the first quarter. Corey Lard will come off, Angelina Gonzalez on for the RedHawks. First free throw is pure for Maya Chandler. 88% on the season from the stripe. And makes them both.
Nice little run here for the RedHawks. 6-0 in the past 2 minutes. Now 7-0, and their defense has been hounding equally as well.
12-7 Miami, 2:44 to go in the half. Down the right side, a downhill drive for Clark. Shot was not close, but contact and a foul. And that will send Nyra Clark to the free throw line. Clark, not a player that shoots a ton of free throws despite her interior presence. Just 27 attempts on the year coming in 18 games, but this is her second trip so far tonight. Hoping to break up this run for Akron. Clark pushes the first one long. Very talented freshman out of Toledo Rogers, an area that Coach Ryan Gensler said he wants to dominate recruiting Northern Ohio, where Akron is. Clark cashes the second free throw, and it's 12-8 Miami over Akron with 2:37 to go in the game's first quarter. Gonzalez from up top. Quick ball movement to the interior. It's batted away from Treader and tipped out by the RedHawks. It's like Shelby Brown made a last-ditch effort to save that ball, thinking that the Zips had touched it last, but the ball hit out of bounds before she could grab it. That would have been Miami ball. Instead, the Zips are with it on the offensive end, and off a fake handoff, there's some contact on Brown, and she gets fouled by Maya Chandler. And again, a lot of those early fouls for both teams means we'll have some bonus free throws for Akron and Shelby Brown. Perfect on the first free throw. Brown do it all forward for this Akron team. Can shoot the foul shot. High-level rebounder as well at about 7 a game. Rolls the second one in and cuts it back to a 2-point deficit for the Zips with 2:12 to go in the first. Gonzalez drives to the right side, fadeaway jumper. She hits it. Angelina Gonzalez with a tough one from the second level. And it's back to a 2-possession game, 14-10 RedHawks with 1:55 to go in the first. Brown gathers, she finds Mobley, contact, Mobley back up for Brown, and she traveled on her way back to the paint. Couple paint touches there for Brown on that possession. Akron unable to get a shot up. Glenn Box frustrated with the official on the far side, but the RedHawks are the beneficiaries of Akron's 6th turnover of this first quarter. Singer's just going to take a three and bury it from straight away. Singer said, why not? It's a 7-point Miami lead, their largest of the quarter with 90 seconds to go in it.
Simply a defensive breakdown. Singer, a 38% three-point shooter. Just can't happen.
One of Miami's best, the Israeli freshman. Brown lost her balance inside, still gets rid of it, and now a drive in for Mobley. Her mid-range jumper was left short. Contact and a foul on the rebound as Naira Clark got two hands on the basketball on the offensive glass. And Maya Chandler will pick up her second. And that will bring more free throws for the Zips. These will be attempts number 11 and 12 of the quarter for Akron.
With all these fouls coming up, this could definitely be a full team effort. Expect to see a lot more forwards and a lot different deck players coming in.
First free throw swished by Naira Clark, who is continuing to see more time at the line. Her and Brown have accounted for all of Akron's 11, soon to be 12, free throw attempts. Too much on the second one, and a run in to try and save it from going out of bounds by Brown. She stepped on the baseline, and it will be RedHawk ball. From left to right, Tamar Singer takes it into the front court for Miami, and now bolting inside, Gonzalez steps back, pulls the trigger, and can't hit from the edge of the paint. Rebound hauled in by Shelby Brown. Under a minute to play, shot and game clock separated by about 25 seconds. Hall drives baseline, lost it out of bounds as it was poked free by a RedHawk inside. Looks like Treader got her hand on it. It'll stay on that end of the floor with 44 seconds to go in the quarter. Miami holding on to a 17-11 advantage. Corner baseline inbound, blocked away by Ilsa DeFries. RedHawks will pass it up the floor quickly and find Treader in transition underneath for an easy bucket. Singer will get the assist, her third of the quarter. Shot clock still on, separated from the game clock by 4 seconds. 22 seconds to go in the quarter. 8-point lead for Miami, the biggest either team has had all game. Hall, being face guarded by Singer, will hand off for Brown. Left to the key. Treader in her grill. She finds Vasicki far side. Now to the corner, a three hoisted up and missed by Rashid. Rebound fought for, loose ball out of bounds to Miami with 4.4 seconds to go in the quarter. RedHawks are inbounding from in front of their own bench, but near the end of it that's furthest from their offensive basket. So they'll need to drop something quick here. Still plenty of time to get some dribbles in, but 4.4 seconds. Not a ton left for the RedHawks. It'll be Treader that inbounds. She finds Gonzalez racing forward, crosses the timeline, tosses it up, and missed it way off right. She had 2 zips on her, and not a great look for Miami to end the quarter, but working with what they had, they will head into the first break with an 8-point lead. 19-11 the score in favor of the home team as Miami leads Akron after 10 minutes here from Oxford. We'll take a break and be back for the second quarter in just a moment. You're listening to Miami Basketball on RedHawk Radio. RedHawks lead Akron 19-11 after one quarter of play here from Oxford. It'll be Miami ball to begin the game's second frame. A lot of fouling early on for Akron. It has been the Shelby Brown show so far with 8 points, 6 of them coming from the free throw line, but RedHawks lead it by 8 thanks to a strong run of 7-1 over the final 2 minutes of the quarter to take the lead. Corey Lard steps inside the three-point arc and hoists up a long 2 that ends up short of the front iron. Rebound picked up by the Zips and taken ahead. Manny Vasicki running the point for Akron. San Diego transfer stumbles to the nail, hands it off for Mobley, working inside. She lost it out of bounds as she tried to drive down the right lane. It's out the baseline. Turnovers plagued the Zips in that first quarter. That latest one by Mobley, her 4th individually, in the 9th as a team for Akron, as that continues to be a strength of Miami's defense. Gonzalez bolts inside, hangs up from the right side but can't score. And the rebound picked up by Mobley, who will slow things down before she crosses half court. Feed across the timeline, finds Hall. With her feet set, she'll rainbow it cross court for Rashid. And now to the corner, it's Mobley. Mobley in, finds Hall cutting on the right block, but her shot falls well short from 5 feet. A little bunny right into the arms of Treader, and the RedHawks push. Treader, a straightaway 3, drops through. Timeout Akron. Treader, not one to shoot the 3 ball a ton, but certainly can, and got sagged off of up top, which has been an issue with this Akron defense so far. We've seen Miami make them pay on that exact type of look a couple of times now, and the lead has grown to 11 as Ryan Gensler calls his first timeout.
And the RedHawks have been absolutely dialed in defensively. They are right now forcing a 1 for 8 from Akron offensively. They forced 9 turnovers and were basically at the start of the second quarter. I mean, this is probably one of the best defensive starts that we've seen all season. Just completely focused, and for this RedHawks group that has a ton of upside, ton of talent, this is a really good sign against a pretty solid Akron team.
It's good to see the RedHawks continue to force turnovers and do so again after a rare game where they really struggled on the defensive side of the ball against the Buffalo Bulls. Only forced 13 turnovers, had 21. And turnovers on the offensive end have been an issue of their own for Miami this season. They only have 2 of them so far, which has been very fortunate for this RedHawk team. They were a little cold from the field early on. They've heated up, and that water's sort of found its level. But the turnover is the really big difference in the game right now, with 9 for Akron and just 2 for the RedHawks. That coming after the RedHawks nearly doubled up Buffalo in that category on Saturday in the loss. Both teams back to their huddles. A couple of squads under some newer head coaches between Glenn Box and Ryan Gensler, a couple of second-year men. Both coached as assistants in the Big Ten previously, with Coach Gensler at Illinois and Dayton before that. Glenn Box was at Indiana and St. Louis, another A-10 program, prior to his move with the Hoosiers. Currently a 22-5 run put together by the RedHawks over the last 8 minutes or so.
And that's kind of what they faced against Buffalo a couple days ago. Just unrelentless from Chella Watson, one of the top players in college basketball. We saw her player here last year, and she is an exciting player to watch, but really good punch back and a response from the RedHawks.
It will be Akron ball coming out of the timeout. Shelby Brown back onto the floor for the Zips after a quick breather, as is Maya Chandler for Miami. RedHawks pick up a little bit of pressure, but it is evaded immediately as Mobley runs it down the left side. Lauren almost stole it away from her, but Mobley works her way inside, gets the contact, and gets fouled from the bottom of the MAC logo after that diagonal drive. It'll go against Treader, who gets her first. First of the quarter after a lot of fouling by both teams in quarter number 1, and that will send Mobley to the free throw line. Sort of a wonder for Akron as well, but really Miami had the worst of the fouling as Mobley hits the first free throw. That no one has more than 2. Only Richardson and Chandler have 2 fouls for Miami, and nobody's got 3. Second free throw, long tie up on the rebound, and Akron will earn possession after a 1-for-2 trip to the line for Alexis Mobley. She'll get credited for the offensive rebound, and the guard's already got 5 boards today. She'll get the handoff after the inbound. Now left elbow extended, it's Brown, sets a screen for Rashid. Back up top, Hall. Overhead pass for Vasicki. Back to the key for Brown. 6 to shoot. Brown between the legs on the dribble. Bullies trying to the bucket, but lofted it high over the top. And Chandler has the rebound for Miami. Quickly in transition, Treader all alone underneath to put it in for 2. Good ball movement by the RedHawks, and Treader just got lost underneath.
Treader up to 9 points now. We saw a lot of that last year, and she has really exploded in this one against the Zips.
Past the 2-minute mark, second quarter, it's 24-12 Miami. Hall lost it on her drive-in, scoops it off the hardwood, 10 to shoot, back outside Rashid. Brown thought about it, instead pulls back down and feeds Hall in the corner. Drive in, pass to the elbow for Brown, ripping it through, 3 to shoot. She's swarmed by RedHawks and she throws it away at the expiration of the shot clock. It will be called a shot clock violation, but it does the job nonetheless for Miami as that ball was skittering out of bounds. The RedHawks force Akron's 10th turnover, and now it'll be brought up the floor from left to right by Tamar Singer. To the flank, Corey Larn surveils the floor. Finds Chandler at the left elbow, who will back it outside. Singer, risky pass to the key for Treader, who pulls it away from a prodding Mobley. 5 left to shoot for the RedHawks. It's Chandler from up top. She hoists up a shot that she swishes, but a whistle and a foul before that on Akron inside. And that will give the RedHawks, I believe, 20 more seconds on this possession as the officials might go to the monitor here, and it looks like they are.
Looked like it may have been on Mobley, one of those players down on the post.
It was.
One foul on 6 different players here for Akron. That's kind of unusual. You don't see that every day. Same for Miami, too. Pretty much every player has a foul except Edwards.
Edwards the only one for Miami, and Murphy the only one for Akron who's checked into the game without fouling so far. This is being reviewed, looks like, for a potential flagrant foul. You can see it on the replay. It doesn't look too bad. It was Treader, definitely a foul. Mobley kind of reached around and hooked Treader underneath as that shot was being tossed up, but really did not look like there was a ton of intent there from Mobley to do anything. Didn't even really pull on Treader, just kind of put her free arm around her while the two were battling in the post. Both teams have gone to their benches to huddle up. Ryan Gensler was not happy about the foul call as his team was about to force the RedHawks into a tough shot. Whether or not it was milliseconds after the whistle and Chandler swished the 3 is beside the point. Both officials that were at the monitor have gone over to the benches to have a word with each head coach. And it looks like it'll just be a common foul as the official with the ball has made her way to the baseline. So yeah, just a common foul. The basket, which the original call was wouldn't count, will still not count. And the RedHawks will get 20 seconds to work with on the shot clock and inbound from the far side baseline. So teams back working, some movement off the ball and a late throw in just enough time by Chandler. Gets a return feed now, open for 3 and cashes it. It's a 2 rather for Chandler and her toe on the line. But it's now 26-12 Miami as we cross the 3-minute mark of the second quarter. Brown pivoting around at the right elbow, looking for an option outside. Finds Rashid. Brown sets a screen and now has it back straight away. Vasicki left angle. In for Brown from the second level. Drives to the edge of the paint. Double comes there. Kick back outside. Vasicki tosses up a 3. And that's off the back rim. Rebound by DeFries for the RedHawks, who will lay it off for Chandler. Maya Chandler, the SMU transfer, running the point for Miami. Post-entry feed batted away from Treader into the arms of Gonzalez. Still with the RedHawks, Chandler down the center of the paint, hangs up from 10 feet and rolls it off the rim. Rebound by Brown, who went crashing down to the hardwood. She's a little shaken up as she gave it to Emily Hall to bring it up the floor, but Brown will help herself to her feet and participate in this possession. Pass to the far side, picked away by DeFries. She'll run the floor, Euro into the lane and put it home. Crafty steal and finish from DeFries. Her first basket of the game, and it's 28-12 Miami with 5:53 to go in the half.
DeFries, a fun player to watch, making the scoop and score look easy. And Akron here, their last field goal was 30 seconds in the first quarter. Got to get something going here to regain some confidence.
A near steal for Singer. Instead, the Zips still have it, and a mid-range jumper from Clark. That's pushed off the front rim, and a foul committed by Clark on the rebound as DeFries picked up the basketball. So Akron has gone ice cold. They're 1 for 11 from the field. 10 of their 12 points have come from the free throw line. So had Miami not fouled as much as they did in that first quarter, you could be looking at a puzzlingly small number in the score column for Akron. Instead, it's 28-12, still a large lead for the RedHawks. Treader kind of went to a fake shot in the air, tried to feed DeFries. That got intercepted, and Brown will run it up the floor from right to left. Scoops it out to the top of the key, downhill drive. Mobley, an offensive foul as she bowled over on Gonzalez. Third foul, meanwhile, picked up. Or rather, just the second announced against Mobley. And she'll commit her 5th turnover. And that will give it back to the RedHawks as Singer runs it across the timeline. She's double teamed, nearly got trapped, but gets rid of it. Chandler tries a long 2. It was on line, but not enough on it. Rebound on the floor, torn away by Brown as Singer gave chase. Brown all the way in, lost the ball, and out of bounds off Miami as it rolled out the baseline. 4:49 to go in the second quarter. 28-12, the Miami lead. And the RedHawks will rush Corey Lard up to the scorer's table to sub in for Maya Chandler. Emily Hall will provide the inbound for the Zips. Hall pumps, throws it in for Brown, deflected away, and into the Miami bench. Last touch by Akron. RedHawks have had super active hands, and it has paid off big time. DeFries will get credit for her 4th steal, and that's 13 Zip turnovers to give it back to Miami. RedHawks get out of the trap. DeFries makes the extra pass to the corner. Gonzalez's 3 off the mark. And a weak side rebound pulled in by Brown. Brown has had such a good day on the glass so far. Only 5 rebounds for her. Akron hoping it can translate to some points. Finally, they haven't had them in a while. It's been over 4 minutes since they've scored. Drive from the far corner by Brown. She's walled off at the edge of the paint. 8 to shoot. Around the horn, Vasicki, near side 3. High off the rim and no good. And the rebound tipped out of bounds by Akron. And with 4:08 to go, Miami takes over.
Another empty possession there. That 3 kind of felt a little bit rushed here. And there was still plenty of time left on the shot clock. I'm not really sure why Akron advantage for that shot. Just not really sure about these shot selections. And with 4 minutes left, they got to get something going here if they want to come back in this one.
1 for 12 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3 for the Zips so far. DeFries, extra pass to the corner. Lard hoists up a 3. Missed it off the front rim. And Hall pulls up for the rebound for Akron. Racing it up the floor. A pump fake and sidestep for Murphy. Elects not to shoot it. And Akron will set up the offense. Hall down the left side. Picks up her dribble. Will give for Mobley. Crossover. Step into the lane on the right side. She pivots into the paint. Throws it off the glass and in. Wild finish there for Mobley. And finally the cold streak ends for Akron. Just their 2nd field goal. 28-14, the Miami lead with 3:20 to go in the first half. Pass to the corner, and it finds DeFries for the 3. Glenn Box wants a timeout. Ilse DeFries off the cross-court pass by Tamar Singer, who has had some excellent court vision tonight. She's got her 5th helper, and Miami leads at 31-14 with 3:14 to go in the half.
Yeah, and it's great to see some of these forwards getting busy for Miami. Treader up to 9, DeFries up to 5, and Katie Rashassen 2 points, but still, she's been a really solid presence. Just, it's been a great day for the RedHawks here, and big thanks to these guards too. Maya Chandler and Angelina Gonzalez. Once again, an awesome day for them.
Camille Jackson will make her first appearance of the game for Miami coming out of the timeout. Ben Wiersma is all the way out near the logo, Miami assistant coach, giving some instruction. He's been the whiteboard guy for the RedHawks tonight, drawing up the plays. RedHawks, it looks like, will pick up some pressure in full court, and will, as Akron will try to get out of it between Vasicki and Hall. Vasicki on the far side, carrying it up the floor, crossover, dribble, bounce pass, finds Hall across the timeline on the near wing with a couple seconds to spare. Hall makes her way right of the key. Dribble handoff, Mobley. Nearly lost it, but picks back up with Jackson guarding her. Galloping into the lane, Mobley kicks to the corner. 8 left to shoot, and back up top it goes for Akron. Left angle Murphy, sidesteps, throws up the three. It barely grazes the front rim, and the rebound is on the floor as time expires on the shot clock. Officials were getting ready to signal for a jump ball with 2 hands on the basketball for a couple players there. The fists were up, but the thumbs weren't from the official, and now they're debating whether or not it's a jump ball or a shot clock violation, and it looks like they'll take a look. The official that was on the baseline, again, put his hands up as if he was about to call a jump ball, and before he flicked his thumbs in the air to fully signal for it, he was overruled from the other side of the baseline that the clock had expired before then. It was awfully close, although it was a very quick look at it, and call's going to get reversed. It'll be a jump ball. RedHawks will still get it, but they'll lose the possession arrow as a result. Miami in front 31-14. They've been in the driver's seat for the majority of this first half after some early struggles from the field. And a bit of a new look 5 out for Glenn Box as he's got Singer with Jackson and Gonzalez as the guards. DeFries and Richardson are the forwards for the RedHawks in the game right now. It's DeFries from the top of the key, finding Gonzalez, the quick guard, jetting all around the front court. Inside DeFries from the post, circles the paint, left-handed lay off the window and in for 2. 7 points for Ilse DeFries in this first half. The Dutch freshman has been active defensively with 4 steals as well. 33-14 RedHawks, just over 2 minutes to go in the half. Hall driving inside. She caught contact from the forearm of Tamar Singer, and the RedHawk will be called for the foul. That's her second, and just the second team foul for Miami in this quarter. So the RedHawks have done a really good job not fouling after that was an issue in quarter number 1. And they've stayed out of foul trouble in this second quarter as a result. Still nobody with 3 yet for Miami, which doesn't necessarily say a lot, but given the way they fouled in the first quarter, at least says a bit at how they've stopped doing it. Around the arc to the near wing, it's Vasicki off the inbound for Akron. To Mobley, driving inside, hands in the air for the RedHawks, and Mobley threw it away. Nightmare half for Akron on the offensive end. They're just 14% from the field, 0 for 6 from 3, and that's now the 14th Akron turnover.
The RedHawks have certainly kept the Zips in a straitjacket. Just an unreal performance here, and they could not be done yet.
33-14, the Miami lead. 1:42 to go in the half. Camille Jackson, the Illinois transfer, formerly coached by Ryan Gensler, works inside, throws up, and it pops out of the well. Rebound to Akron, and Hall will bound it forward. Scoops it out, Vasicki, high arching shot from NBA range nearly. Falls off the front rim, and Jackson's got the rebound for the RedHawks. Gonzalez from left to right, behind the back on the dribble. Post entry feed for Richardson. Left block, bullies her way inside. Picks up her dribble and pivots around and will float it back to the exterior. It's Gonzalez straight away, working to the left elbow, pulls up from there, and cashes the mid-range jumper. Angelina Gonzalez now with 7 first-half points, and it's Miami by 21 with a minute to go in the half. Left alone, a 3 put up by Rashid. That bounces off the rim, and Corey Lawrence got the board for Miami. RedHawks can manage the clock and get 2 possessions here. Gonzalez, a no-look bounce pass back for Lard. Nearly went into the courtside seats, but the RedHawks recover. Richardson dumps it off to the far side. DeFries will just pull up and hit it. Is it a 3 or a 2? It was a 3 for DeFries, and a timeout called by Akron. DeFries just stood there with the ball in her hands, didn't take a dribble for about 3-4 seconds, looking fully inside, and then just decided to take the shot. She hits the 3. And it is a 37-14 lead. They just downgraded it. Initially called a 3, and now the scoreboard changed, as are the live stats. She had her foot on the line, so just a field goal, deep one for Ilse DeFries. It'll still work as a basket for Miami, and it'll be Akron ball, trailing by 23 points with 35.3 seconds to go in the first half.
Great to see a player like DeFries find her stroke, and she's a freshman, but she's got plenty of upside, up to 4 steals too, and showing off the offense too. Just a really soft for her.
Good for a couple steals a game typically, but it has been a defensive night on another type of level for Miami this evening, forcing 14 first half turnovers. Akron moves it to the offensive end. They can use almost all the clock, but not quite, as Vasicki takes the handoff left of the key. Jackson is up in her face as she hands off for Hall, and an offensive foul as Corey Lard goes down. It'll get called against Vasicki. She gets her second foul, and the RedHawks get another stop, likely the last of the half, capping off what was a brilliant defensive performance for Miami in the first 20, and they've got a chance to get some more points here before the break. Shot clock off, 14.8 seconds to go in half number 1.
This is a possession here where RedHawks are going to use the entire shot clock and just trying to find an open target to finish this one off.
Double screen up top. Gonzalez dumps off for DeFries. 3 seconds to go. Back to Gonzalez near wing. Hoists up a long one and missed it. Airballed on the left side. She reaches down and touches her toes after her shooting motion. Not the look Miami was looking for there. Akron defended it well, and it looked like that was a broken play as soon as those screens were set up top for Miami, but nonetheless can't take away from how good that first half was for the RedHawks, as Miami forces 15 turnovers, allows just a 12.5% clip from the field for Akron, and the RedHawks will lead it 37-14 heading into halftime here from Millett Hall, and they've just re-upgraded. It looks like officials were at the monitor, and they just changed the scoreboard. I believe that Ilse DeFries' shot from late in that first half was initially called a 3 and then downgraded to a 2, just got re-upgraded again to a 3-point shot. So that makes it even better for Miami. It's now a 38-14 halftime lead for the RedHawks, as they have a comfortable 24-point advantage. Up by 24, Miami down on the glass by 4, 19-15, but really outside of that, no complaints for Glenn Box after 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely, and the way it started, it felt like this would be a pretty neck-and-neck game, but ever since around 5 minutes in the first quarter, it's been all RedHawks, and it's been a big reason because of this defense. I mean, forcing 2 for 16 from the floor, 0 for 8 from the three-point line, and forcing 15 turnovers in the first half. I mean, that's exceptional. Whatever level basketball it is, just a really great start here for the RedHawks, and Glenn Box's group definitely going to be confident here coming into the break.
So one of Miami's better halves of the season comes here tonight, and the RedHawks will go into the locker room leading at 38-14 here tonight from Millett Hall. Halftime report coming your way right now. Andrew and I back for the second half in just about 15 minutes time. Until then, we now toss things over to Gavin Stark.
Miami leads 38-14 over the Akron Zips in the first half. I'm Gavin Stark. You're listening to the Miami RedHawks halftime show here. Exciting half if you're a Miami RedHawk fan. Not so exciting if you're an Akron Zip fan. Akron facing some injury issues, and that's showing here in the first half. Just not their half at all so far, or excuse me, throughout this game. Maya Chandler, 7 points for the RedHawks, 2 for 7 from the field, but has gotten some good looks so far, and also gotten to the free throw line once and 2 for 2 from there. Angelina Gonzalez, the MAC Player of the Week, 7 points, 3 for 8 from the field. Has not hit on a 3 yet, but has had 3 good looks from there. She's really just done what she normally does, get good shots and knock them down. Also got to the free throw line once and knocked down 1 out of 2 for there. And has 2 assists as well. Tamar Singer, like I said in the pregame show, would have the ball in her hands a lot, and she sure did in that first half, facilitating very well with the ball. Only 3 points, but her stat is shown more in the assist area with 5 in the first half, trying to get double digits here going into the second half. Tamar Singer's just been a great facilitator, and in 15 minutes so far in this game, she has 5 assists already, so a really brilliant game for the point guard for Miami. Amber Treader, 9 points, 4 for 4 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, and doesn't shoot the 3 much, but when she does, she's pretty consistent out there. So 9 points, 5 rebounds as well. She's been really good on the board and scoring. So, of course, Amber Treader, one of the better players on Miami, if not the best, arguably, doing what she normally does, but very well from the field so far, 4 for 4. And then kind of the star of the show is Elsa DeFries, the freshman, 10 points, 4 for 5 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, 2 rebounds, and listen to this, 4 steals. I said that right, 4 steals for Elsa DeFries in the first half. These are first half stats. Unbelievable stat line for her and an unbelievable game. Kind of one of those breakout games for the freshman. Keep an eye on that going into the second half. If these starters continue to play deeper into the second half, I would expect to see Elsa DeFries with a really impressive stat line. She already has an impressive stat line, but to continue that. One thing the RedHawks have struggled with is foul trouble so far in this one. Kind of started this game off a little slow. Akron led for the first 5 minutes of the first quarter, and that's really due to foul trouble down more in the paint and just kind of some tacky fouls out there, little bumps and stuff. Refs calling a lot, but Miami, a little bit of foul trouble. Maya Chandler notably, and Tamar Singer as well, had to sit out for a couple minutes due to some foul trouble and just couldn't really get things going if you're Maya Chandler with those 2 fouls. You had to sit out. Corey Lard came in for her and did well defensively. Didn't have any points, but her presence was known defensively like normal. A really lengthy guard there and good defender. We talked about Glenn Box going deeper into the rotation, and he certainly did that, playing Edwards, Corey Jackson, Richardson, and Corey Lard. So those players came off the bench. That's 9 players total that played in that first half. I expect to see some more players on the Miami side playing in the second half. Akron short a few players, and by a few I mean 5 players, so that is something to notice with this game. Only played 8 players, but reports are that they brought in a volleyball player to just kind of give some more depth on this team. So interesting there and a good storyline for Akron, but bad storyline for these injuries that they are dealing with. To start off this first quarter, Miami was a little bit cold, missing shots, not knocking down the normal shots that they usually do. But, I mean, one of those things that really didn't help was the foul trouble, of course, that they were struggling with. And one thing that has been noticed is Akron has gone to the free throw line and gotten offensive rebounds off their misses as well. I believe that's happened at least 3 times in this game. Kind of frustrating for Glenn Box and his crew. Not very happy about that. Something to go off and fix in this halftime right now. But the bright spot for Akron has been Shelby Brown, their best player throughout the season, has been the best player on the court tonight. Of course, she's gotten to the rim pretty easily, and with getting to the rim easily, she's gotten to the free throw line very, very well. 6 for 6 from the free throw line, and that's where all the points came from Akron. Statistically, 2 for 16 from the field, 12% from the field for Akron, and has not knocked down a 3 out of their 8 attempts, 0 for 8. So struggling to just get it in the hoop. The scorers were, of course, Shelby Brown, 8 points, 1 for 2 from the field, 6 for 6 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals. So in 15 minutes, she's been the best player on the court for Akron, and that was expected no matter the injuries or not that they're dealing with, but she's really had to do a lot of extra workload for her today, but hasn't really shot the ball a ton. Like I said, getting to the free throw line, but not many jump shots for the forward that really does it all for Akron. And a good rebounder, of course. I mean, 5 rebounds already. She's not tall, but can really get some good rebounds, and that's really been the bright spot for them and being the Akron Zips. But if you're Glenn Box, I mean, you got to go into this half really excited. I mean, this is Miami's best half, I would say, so far in the MAC that they've had. I mean, this kind of resembles the Bowling Green game, but Akron struggled a lot more than Bowling Green did here 11 days ago at Millett Hall. If I'm Miami, I mean, expect to see some more players coming off the bench, you know, players like Emily Bratton and such, other young players, Emily Lou Brown as well. I mean, players like that, expect to see them get in maybe in this third quarter, if not the fourth. I mean, it's a big lead for them. They lead by over 20 points, 24 to be exact, and have 38 already. So on pace to have nearly 80 points if they can keep this one up in the second half. Exciting for the RedHawks and a good way to play this first half. Finally back at home, and it just looks like they're comfortable as a team. It really does, and that's something that Glenn Box talked about. It's been hard. They were on the road for a while, and just that haven't been comfortable. It's hard to be comfortable when you're away for so long, and that's exactly what they do here as Miami comes back out for this second half. 5 minutes to go until tip for this second half here at Millett Hall. Once again, Miami leads 38-14 over the Akron Zips in a dominant first half. A player to keep an eye out on for in the second half, of course, I expect Maya Chandler to get some more minutes now. Foul trouble was her issue in this first half, but lots of shots went up for her. Shot the ball 7 times in that first half, so she's confident in her game, and that's something good to see going into later on in this season. You saw that confidence gain against Bowling Green where she dropped 25 points, so maybe it's something about this court for her or whatever it is. She likes Millett Hall, and she's really feeling comfortable more and more throughout this season. Just what you want to see from the SMU transfer. And then, of course, Angelina Gonzalez, the MAC Player of the Week, just continues to put on a tear in MAC play. One of the best players in the MAC, and she's really just continued to play like that tonight. Only 7 points, 3 for 7 from the field, but very confident as always in her game and putting up some really good looks. So looking for those to go down more in the second half, however long they play. And then Amber Treader, she's been perfect literally from the floor, so expect to see some more Amber Treader, whether it's on the glass or scoring the basket. She's a really good player and a really bright player. She's only a sophomore too, and looks like just a leader when she's out there, so it's really cool to watch Amber Treader play, and just impressive. So Akron looking to just have something to build off going into the next game that they have, and Miami just wanting to continue to put it on Akron and close this one out on the Wednesday night MAC showdown at Millett Hall. This is your halftime report. Gavin Stark, thank you for listening, And second half coming your way in about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Miami warming up now. Thank you for listening.
A dominant first 20 minutes put together by the Miami RedHawks here on this Wednesday night from Oxford. As we get set to begin the third quarter, our score, Miami 38, Akron 14. RedHawks allowed just 2 field goals. 10 of Akron's 14 points came from the free throw line in the first half. Alongside Andrew Relvas, Luke West Poley with you as the RedHawks return home from their sour road trip to Buffalo. A very nice first half for Miami. Really couldn't ask for anything more, Andrew.
Yeah, certainly. This has been an exceptional first half. Talked about it a little bit at the end, but 2 for 16 from the floor defensively and forcing 15 turnovers. This has been a defensive masterclass, and really minus those fouls, those free throws in the first quarter, it's been a dominant performance. And up 24 right now, just got to keep doing what you're doing if you're Miami.
For Akron, 0 for 8 from 3, and the 15 turnovers is the thing that sticks out on the stat sheet the most for Ryan Gensler and his team. Again, they're working with what they got right now. This is a wounded ball club for Akron that has had some truly brutal injury luck, down to 9 healthy players at one point. Had to pick up some tryout walk-ons just to field a roster, but without some of their major contributors. And that has reared its ugly head at times this season, and is certainly doing so tonight, as Akron was relying heavily on Shelby Brown to get them their offense in the first half. She has 8 of her team's 14 points. And again, the bulk of that coming from the free throw line. Winner of this game moves over 500 in the MAC. For a couple of teams picked, finished pretty close to each other, both around middle of the road teams in preseason. Based off the way things have gone, it's a matchup against teams with identical records, but unequal aspirations likely, as again, Akron, with the injuries they've had, the outlook is probably not quite as good as Miami, who, again, Glenn Bach said really feels like they could be 6-0, not just 3-3. We're underway in the second half, and Emily Hall runs it in immediately and got a pretty good look underneath, but missed the layup, and the RedHawks will take the rebound. So the woes continuing with some decent looks for Akron into the second half. Tamar Singer tries to slip a pass to Treader through a tight spot, and the cunning Treader didn't have it get to her. Hall intercepted it for Akron, and an E3 transfer will bring it up the floor for the Zips. Facing sideways at the MAC logo, Shelby Brown lost the basketball, and now the RedHawks toss it ahead. Chandler all the way in, hangs up and gets fouled as Mobley hacked her on the arm under the basket, and Chandler will go to the free throw line as Mobley picks up her 3rd.
Passing has been phenomenal tonight, and another beautiful feed right in the breadbasket to Maya Chandler. for a pair of free throws coming up.
So 2 free throws for Maya Chandler, and breaks the first one off the back iron. Nearly a 90% free throw shooter this year. Miami did not get to the free throw line much in the Buffalo game. Didn't a ton either in that first half, as they relied a lot more on the 3 ball. Second free throw is made by Chandler. RedHawks were 5 for 12 from deep in the first half. Fueled predominantly by 3-pointers, not from the guards, but from their forwards. DeFries and Treader accounted for 3 of the 5. Made shots from 3-point land in the first half. 39-14 the score in favor of the RedHawks. We approach the 1-minute mark of the half. Hall nearly threw it away. 8 to shoot. Ball's in the backcourt after a tip by Chandler. Rashid will run it up the floor and toss up a 3. She connects. Broken possession for Akron. Not what they wanted at all, but Rashid makes up for all of it by hitting the 3. Akron's first make from deep tonight. And the RedHawks throw it away as Singer tried to insert it to the post for DeFries, and it went right between the RedHawks center's hands. 39-17 is the Miami lead. A minute 20 into the second half as the RedHawks will pick up some pressure in the full court and now back it out once Hall receives the inbounds pass. Hall from left to right, into the corner. Back out near midcourt for Clark, and a foul away from the ball inside on the RedHawks. And looks like they got DeFries potentially. Nope, Treader will be called for the foul, and that's her second.
Really like this defensive effort against Mobley, the leading scorer coming in on only 3 points. They've kept her quiet.
Mobley's been very quiet for Akron, had 16 points in the loss against Ball State. She's got just 3 so far tonight. Akron inbounds with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Downhill drive for Rashid. Kicks it back out for Clark. She'll drive in and stop on the edge of the paint. Back outside with 10 to shoot. Vasicki lifts it up for 3. It bounces off, and a foul on the rebound called against Akron. And now Clark will pick up her 3rd. So Clark's got 3, Mobley's got 3 for Akron. Miami still, somehow, some way, staying away from the foul troubles. Nobody's got 3 yet. Despite for the RedHawks, all but 2 players in that first half picking up a foul, or 2. RedHawks bring it into the offensive end, and Treader drove and tried to kick. It was touched out of bounds by Akron, and will stay on the left end of the floor. Sideline inbounds here for Gonzalez. She will find Singer on the left flank. Round a screen set by DeFries. Backs it out near midcourt. Finds Gonzalez in the corner, working left elbow. High toss to the far side. Chandler in, pulls up in the mid-range, in and out. And Lisa Tappinen pulls in the rebound for Akron. The Finn hands off for Hall, who takes it left to right across the timeline. Brown from the top of the key drives in and just lost the ball cleanly. A misstep followed by a bobble on Brown's dribble, and she just threw that ball out of bounds. Taking it from right to left, Singer will throw it across the timeline and now get a return feed up top, directing traffic with her left hand, dribbling letter high with her right. Gonzalez heads down the right lane, kick out Chandler, far corner 3, rattles out. Rebound on the floor. Vasicki gets dirty for it and pulls it free to find Brown. Tough rebound there for Akron, but they'll give it away immediately. Long cross-court pass intercepted by Gonzalez, running in. Throws it over the top of Vasicki, and that rolls along the back iron and drops on the other side, no good. Brown picks it up, ahead for Hall. Tip pass near the Akron bench. Vasicki grabs it before it goes out of bounds. Now Rashid being swiped at by Chandler. Stops at paint's edge. Back to the outside, left of the key. Hall's 3. Off the back of the rim, high in the air for the rebound. DeFries comes up with it for the RedHawks. Singer back for Chandler, a transition tray. That scrapes the front iron, And Rashid's got the rebound for Akron. Threads between two Miami defenders, but lost the basketball. It was plucked away by Gonzalez, who will run it up to the right elbow, pull and hit from the mid-range. Angelina Gonzalez with another steal and score, up to 9 points to make it 41-17 Miami with 6:13 to go in the third. And now a steal by Singer, just a careless giveaway by Hall, who will foul her. And Singer now pleading, I think, for a clear path foul there against Hall, but it will just be a regular old personal to deny the RedHawks of a fast break. Singer's going to come off the floor. She'll be replaced by Corey Lard. Katie Richardson has also come on to take Amber Tretter's place for Miami. RedHawks will inbound from the near wing with 6:10 to go in the third quarter. Emily Hall gets called for her second foul. She will head off the floor. 2 Zips with 3 fouls in the game right now. Those being Mobley and Clark. Gonzalez right of the key. Feeds Richardson just inside the arc on the right wing. Handing back off for Gonzalez in the far corner. The Mercer transfer, slings it near wing. Chandler open for 3. And too far to the right on that shot. Rebound plucked out by Shelby Brown for Akron. This transfer takes it from left to right, works her way inside, and powers one up to get the foul. Threw it off the underside of the backboard. Foul will go against Katie Richardson. Second team foul for Miami of the quarter, and it will send Shelby Brown once again to the free throw line for attempts number 7 and 8 on the night. Amber Tretter comes back onto the floor after a quick breather, and Richardson, who commits the foul, on for just a couple of possessions. Maya Chandler will also come out of the game for Miami. Lucretia Edwards will take that guard spot. Brown with her first free throw miss of the night as she leaves the first one on the front rim. Four bounces of the ball, second free throw in the air, and good. A couple players crumple over on the MAC logo. It was Mobley who got tied up with Amber Tretter, but no harm, no foul. The free throw counts, and the RedHawks will inbound from the baseline.
If I'm the RedHawks here, I just want to waste some time and try and get some free throws, maybe drive to the couple times and get those fouls going up. You got Mobley with 3, you got Clark with 3. Just try and rack up some free throws here.
Tretter catches it on the inside, and the turnaround 5-foot bunny is good for Amber Tretter. 11 points in the game now for Tretter as she sneaks into the Miami scoring lead. It's 43-18 RedHawks. Far corner 3, meanwhile, hit by Zakia Rashid. 43-21 now the scores. This game's picked up in pace a little bit over the last couple of possessions. Gonzalez worked it to the right elbow, kicks for Edwards, her tray. Line drives in from the far side. And they'll call it a 3. Get a whistle. Glenn Box is wondering what the whistle is for, I believe, as are we. I think maybe they'll go look to see if it was a 2 or a 3. There's been a lot of issues with that tonight. This will be, I believe, the 3rd time that they've gone to look at a 2 versus a 3-point basket. That is indeed what they're doing, and that will bring us to immediate timeout. For the moment, it's a 3, and that makes it a 46-21 Miami lead with 4:58 to go in the third. We'll let you know about the call when we come back. You're listening to Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Don't go away. 4:58 to go, third quarter. Officials took a really long look at that last play. It appears like they're going to stick with the call of three-point basket as the score has not been adjusted, and pretty quick explanations given to both head coaches. So that'll give Akron a baseline inbound on their own end of the floor coming out of the timeout. RedHawks pressured heavily in the backcourt. But as soon as the inbounds pass came in, they pulled back. Akron brings it up the floor, and it's Mobley just inside the arc, who will take it down the right alley, kick it back out. Brown alone for three, measures it up from the key, off the rim, backboard rim, no good. Offensive board and a stuff job by Treader against Rashid, but she's called for the foul. So Treader picks up her third. First RedHawk to pick up their third foul. Glenn Box is going to protest the foul call, but that'll bring us to another immediate timeout with 4:35 to go in the third quarter. And Miami still leading 46-21. Free throws on the other side of the break for Akron. You're listening to Miami Basketball on RedHawk Radio. Miami 46, Akron 21 our score with 4:35 to go in the third quarter. Alongside Andrew Relvas, Luke West Poley with you. Gavin Stark alongside as well. Just a reminder again, we'll be back with you on Saturday as the Miami women will be back in action taking on the Kent State Golden Flashes. Coverage begins at 12:30 with the Red Hawk Radio pregame show, and tip-off is at 1 o'clock. Should be a fun semester as we kick off semester 2 coming up this week. Classes starting on Monday. Soon enough, baseball, softball season around the corner. They'll get started in early February. New era for the Miami softball program. Miami baseball team looking to build off their MAC tournament berth last year. Nyra Clark is at the free throw line right now, and she misfires on the first free throw. Second one in the air and good. Interested to see. Preseason polls will be coming out for both of those sports soon, where the RedHawks fare. Well, should be picked to finish near the top of the Mid-American Conference in baseball and softball this year. RedHawks get it across the timeline, and Lard got trapped, but got rid of it and found to freeze. Now Treader underneath. She got stuffed. It headed out of bounds, but Treader went for the up and under, and Clark gave her no air beneath the basket. It'll stay with Miami. 12 left on the shot clock. RedHawks leading by 24, killing some time, and Treader cuts to the basket, left all alone on the right side to catch the inbound and kiss it off the glass for two. 13 for Treader to lead all scorers in the game, and it's 48-22 Miami with 4:03 remaining in the third. Crossover dribble for Brown, heads in, and a foul on the ball, it appears, on Treader, and that's going to be her fourth. So Camille Jackson is going to come into the game for Treader. So not a true 5-for-5 type of sub there. If you're Miami, RedHawks will go with a smaller look, bringing on Jackson. But Treader will have to take a seat. Miami's leading scorer has four fouls. Left angle three, high arcing shot in the air for Hall, and it's good. All net for Emily Hall, who's played more minutes than any Zip in this game, and finally has her first basket. The D3 transfer makes it a 48-25 Miami lead. Cross-court risky pass nearly intercepted. Edwards finds it, and she'll instead throw it away as she was trying to give it back to Gonzalez along the near wing. RedHawks have done such a good job taking care of the basketball today after that was a real weak point against Buffalo on Saturday. Just the sixth turnover for Miami tonight. And the inbound finds Sola, will take it left to right. Speeding past Corey Lard and the timeline. Pass skip to Mobley, stumbling around Gonzalez, makes her way into the paint, now exits it on the right block. She will push it back outside for Rashid. Rashid bouncing to the interior, got swiped at by Lard, and looks like Lard got some arm involved there and got called for the foul. No, instead it's Edwards who was standing up on defense, who's called for a blocking foul. And that's the fifth foul on Miami, so Akron will shoot free throws over this final 3:11 of the third quarter. Zakia Rashid will take the shots. And the first free throw is made. She's got 7 points in the game. Akron continuing to shoot a lot of free throws. This will be the 20th attempt of the night. And it bounces out. DeFries unsuspecting of that effort by Brown to run in and poke the ball away on the rebound, but it does go out of bounds off Akron. And the RedHawks possession is safe for now. Maya Chandler coming back onto the floor for Miami. She'll replace Corey Lard.
Yeah, and let's see if Chandler can get going offensively. 2 for 11 from the floor. 8 points, though, but kind of that field goal percentage bad.
A foul off the inbound against Rashid as the inbound went to Tamar Singer. She picks up her second, fourth on Akron as a team in the third. Chandler providing the inbound, wants some help. Edwards will come closer, take it, and give back for Chandler. Now it's Singer running it from right to left. Her pass ahead down the left side, batted away and into the arms of Hall. Turnover by the RedHawks. Rashid tries a transition three. She got pasted by DeFries, but Akron will get to the loose ball and keep the possession alive. And now a whistle and an offensive foul against Akron, way away from the ball. That'll go against Naira Clark. She gets her fourth foul. And so she will come off the floor.
She's played a big role for Akron, especially on the boards. 3 rebounds, and that one pretty much cancels out Treader's in 4 fouls currently.
Yeah, so both of the top rim protectors in foul trouble. A foul again now as Miami's bringing it up the floor. Shelby Brown fouls Gonzalez. And now Gonzalez will shoot some free throws. One of Miami's best foul shooters to the line. And Gonzalez into double digits with the first free throw make. Transfer from Mercer has found a home here in Miami. MAC Player of the Week this week, as announced yesterday. And makes the second free throw as well to move up to 11 points. Second on the team for Miami, trailing only Amber Treader with 13, and she'll have time to make up some ground on Treader, who's staying on the bench with 4 fouls. 50-26, the RedHawks in front with 2:32 to go in the third. Brown just heads all the way in and takes it and one down the left lane. RedHawks just kept letting Brown go further and further inside without really resisting her much, and when they finally stood up on defense, she was at the basket. DeFries fouled, and Brown has a chance for a three-point play. Brown tosses up the free throw, and too much on it. Ball was loose on the ground. It got punched on the ground by Jackson. RedHawks end up with it. Gonzalez raced in transition, stops her feet, and will give it around the arc. Near wing, it's Singer. Slashing across, kick out to Free, straightaway three. Launched far, and Hall gets the rebound for Akron.
A really solid ball movement there from Miami. Just came a little bit short, but a really good look there from DeFries, who's been solid tonight.
Mobley works it in, now back out, and it's Brown driving it across the paint, trying to bounce pass to the far block, looking for tapping in. It's stolen away by Miami. Gonzalez Euros into the lane, throws it through traffic and scores. Gonzalez had 3 zips bracketing her. Somehow got that shot up and it rolled around the rim and in. 13 points ties the game lead for Angelina Gonzalez. Mobley with the drive now, and she got prodded at and fouled by Tamar Singer of Miami. So Singer gets her third. Katie Richardson will now come on to replace Camille Jackson. Singer's going to stay on the floor with 3. Richardson with 3 fouls coming into the game now for Miami. Alexis Mobley at the free throw line and drops in the first one. Second one in the air and good for Mobley as Akron finally hits the 30-point mark. They still trail it by 22 with 90 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Bounce pass up the far wing. Gonzalez force feeds inside looking for DeFries, and it's taken away. Hall running it from left to right, hits the baseline, and will work it back out near midcourt. Mobley gives it down to the block, shot off the underside of the backboard once and twice by Brown. Gets her own rebound and kicks it out for an open Vasicki 3. She missed it, and the rebound run down in the near corner by Tamar Singer. She'll cut it all the way across the court to the far side. 2 zips pop it free, and both trying to run it down will grab it and step on the baseline. Those being Brown and Hall. In the dual effort, Miami will keep possession with 58.4 seconds to go in the quarter and 24 to shoot. Brown will head off, as will Singer for the RedHawks. And the inbound up to the top for Miami and Larn to the far side. Chandler 2 steps in, pulls for the elbow and swishes the jumper. 10 points now for Maya Chandler. She's the 4th RedHawk into double figures. It's 54-30 Miami. Early shot clock 3 from Vasicki. And that deflects out off the rim. Gonzalez with the rebound for Miami. Hop step on the left side. Lane to the basket. Pulls up from 10 feet and knocks it down. Gonzalez takes the space, buries the easy one, and it's the RedHawks by 26 now with the shot clock off in the third quarter.
RedHawks are really rolling when they have their guards going, and Chandler and Gonzalez both in double figures. Great night for them.
9 seconds to go in the quarter. Step into the arc, and Mobley hits the jumper, but an offensive foul call will wave it off. So a little interesting there. Akron did not hold for the final shot. Mobley stepped in and hit a long 2 from a step inside the key. It was waved off, however, by an offensive foul away from the ball on Lisa Tappinen. And now the RedHawks have 8 seconds to work with for the final shot of the third quarter. Inbound rolled ahead for Corey Larn. Takes it right to left across the timeline. Gonzalez on the near wing with 3. Steps in the arc, pulls up, and missed it at the buzzer. A much better look than what Miami had for the final shot of the first half, but Gonzalez can't bury the mid-range J. And the RedHawks will settle for a 26-point lead. Still very comfortable for Miami headed into the final 10 minutes. To the fourth we go tonight from Oxford. It's Miami 56 and Akron 30. Back for more after this. You're listening to Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Ten minutes left to play, all Miami through the first half hour. To the fourth quarter, it's Miami 56 and Akron 30. Nuria Herho will come into the game for the first time tonight for the RedHawks, who will likely start emptying their bench, what's left of it, here in the fourth quarter. A little bit of foul trouble for Miami. Ember Treader's got 4. They've got a couple players with 3, Tamar Singer and Katie Richardson. And none of those 3 on the floor right now as Miami begins the fourth quarter with a comfortable lead. It's DeFries shouldering in, fakes to the outside, steps in, and sky hooks it home. DeFries up to 12 points. It's been a really good night for the Dutch freshman, extending the Miami lead to 28.
5 steals for her, too, doing it well offensively and defensively.
58-30 RedHawks, 9:28 to go in the game. Akron driving in, and Mobley will work it back outside. Wants help up top. Clark will give her some with the screen, now peels off. She tries to feed her inside. It's batted away, and the last touch came from Akron as it went out of bounds. RedHawks will force another turnover, and take a guess, that is number 24 for Akron on the night. Lard from right to left. Passes it across the timeline for Maya Chandler. Chandler thought about the shot. Instead, she'll wisely pull down and run some more time. Now she'll drive. Left alley. Lays it up. It rolls off the side of the rim. And the rebound pulled in by Rashid for Akron, who will gain some space and toss it forward. Murphy back for Rashid. Around the far side of the arc for Emily Hall. Hall traverses inside. Bounces it through a tight spot. And Naira Clark all alone to put it off the window and in for 2. Akron picking up some pressure right as the RedHawks get around the halfway line, but Miami does get it across. Corey Lard on the left angle. To the flank for Edwards. Into the post, DeFries swings it around the right side, tosses up off the backboard, no good. Herho with the offensive rebound and inserts it right back into the post for DeFries. Finds Herho on the cut, and Herho puts it in with the left hand. Lightning fast ball movement from Miami. And Herho with her first points of the night. Now a run all the way in for Mobley, and Herho stood her up. She threw it high off the glass, no good. Edwards a transition three, you bet. And now a tidal wave picking up for Miami. They've got their first 30-point lead of the game. 63-32 up to 31 with that last three. Timeout by Ryan Gensler, and Akron 2:05 into the fourth.
What a response from the RedHawks after a pretty tight third quarter, a 7-2 run in the fourth, and RedHawks are rolling here in late January. This is exactly the time that you want to start getting hot with conference play. The home stretch coming up, Kent State coming up, then you got Toledo, then OU. Those are all pretty solid teams, and they got to be feeling pretty confident coming into those games soon.
6 home games left on the schedule for Miami, beginning with that matchup against Kent State on Saturday. Good news is RedHawks do not have to see preseason conference favorite Ball State again this year. Next time they would see them would potentially be in Cleveland. Miami just missed out last year despite playing some solid basketball down the stretch of the season on a trip to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. RedHawks currently, despite not playing some of their best basketball at the moment, still find themselves in 6th place in the MAC right now, which would have them in the conference tournament. And again, this team feels really confident, not necessarily because of what they've already done, but just because they feel they're a couple tweaks away from really being one of the heavyweights in this conference.
Yeah, definitely so. And they had a really good non-conference schedule. Some highlight wins at Dayton. That was a big one. Defeated Austin P by 7. Played a close one against Xavier. They beat App State by a bunch, nearly 30 points. I mean, really good non-conference schedule. You get the confidence going in to conference play, and they brought it here despite a little up and down start, but RedHawks really feel like these gears are churning in a positive way as we get closer and closer to the home stretch of this one.
For the RedHawks, 2 of the 3 losses in conference have come to the top 2 teams in the league, Ball State and Buffalo. And again, Ball State game was tight, although the RedHawks trailed for much of it. That Buffalo game, though, was really in Miami's hands on the road, and some cold shooting from the field late saw a very large lead vanish for Miami. But again, a very winnable game against one of the best teams in the league at Buffalo, who 5-2 in the conference, but 11-0 in non-conference this year. It was a Buffalo team that really turned some heads. Miami will see the number 3 team in the MAC in Kent State come here on Saturday. Again, get in the top 8, you're going to Cleveland. That's where the RedHawks want to be in year 2 under Glenn Box.
And they've also eclipsed the wins they had last year. They had, I believe, 9 or 10 wins somewhere in there, and the RedHawks are already 10-6, so a much better start, and we've got plenty more basketball left to go. 9-20 last year was the record.
Rashid across the timeline for Akron as we get going once again. RedHawks holding on to a big lead here tonight and will allow more usage of the bench as Claire Chambers is checked into the game. Getting her first action of the night. To the inside, trying to bump her way through the traffic. Clark will run through the chest of DeFries and toss a shot up to earn the foul. So DeFries commits the foul, and that is her 3rd. And that will send Naira Clark to the free throw line. Clark misses the first free throw. It's a Miami team, though, that really has made significant progress in year 2. They've got a chance, if they can really just play average basketball, which they feel like obviously they can play a lot better than that, to have their best season since 2018-19. Second free throw made by Clark. That was the last time the RedHawks had a winning record. They went 23-9 as a foul is whistled on Rashid. or Murphy rather, as the RedHawks were carrying the ball up the floor. RedHawks went to the WNIT that year. But Miami's got a chance to be over 500 and hoping to be many games above it the way they're playing right now at 10-6. DeFries with a turnaround from the left side of the paint and just scrapes it off the window and in for two. DeFries looking more and more confident with every touch. She's up to 14 points, and it's a 32-point Miami lead with 7 minutes to play. Vasicki inside, stopped by DeFries, who turns her away at the basket, out of bounds. It'll stay with Akron. But DeFries picking up her second block, check it, third block of the game to go with her 6 steals. And all around, fantastic night for one of Miami's many freshmen. Rashid takes the inbound pass, got it stripped away as she headed in, and it went off her leg and out of bounds on the drive. And the RedHawks will force another turnover, which has plagued Akron tonight. Lard takes it across the timeline on the right wing. Bullet pass inside. DeFries will hand it off for Herho. Kick to the far wing. Edwards 3. Off the heel. Rebound reached for and tipped out by DeFries. And it'll be Akron ball. 6:35 to go, fourth quarter. 65-33, an academic advantage for Miami.
Yeah, what a game for Ilsa DeFries, filling every single stat sheet, and I'm looking at 6 steals. That leads all players on the floor tonight. Just such a dynamic player and really building confidence like you mentioned, Luke.
Hall to the far side for Liz Murphy around the near wing now. Vasicki drives in, stopped short of the paint, and mows over Herho, committing an offensive foul. So Herho takes the charge. Vasicki will get her third foul. Yeah, you mentioned DeFries leading all players with 6 steals, the 3 blocks. She's the only player on the RedHawk to mark in that category and leads all players in the game in that department as well. And she's just 1 point off tying Angelina Gonzalez for the game lead in scoring as well. Emily Bratton into the game for Miami. Herho tried to find her, and that got taken away as the cross-court pass intercepted by Brown, who will run the length of the floor and put it in. Bratton, the freshman, wearing the Batman mask as the RedHawks get it back to the baseline and again turn it over. So a couple of quick ones picked up by Miami. The last to Herho, the latest to Edwards as Brown gets the steal. Quick ball movement to the inside, and Clark finds it and two-hands it off the glass and in. Now the RedHawks push in transition from right to left, pull back, and the mid-range jumper rattles through for Lucretia Edwards.
So really young lineup here for Miami. 4 out of 5 underclassmen. Chambers, the lone upperclassman.
Vasicki, step back 3. She's got it from the edge of the logo. A deep one there for Vasicki. Teams trading buckets at 67-40 Miami now with 5:12 to go in the game. Emily Bratton, finalist for Ohio Miss Basketball at a Bloom Carroll High School here in the Buckeye State in the game for Miami. And now Edwards works her way in. She'll commit an offensive foul, driving down the left alley. Edwards called for her second. And now Akron will bring it up the floor as we cross the halfway mark of the fourth.
And this is an opportunity here, 5 minutes left to go for these underclassmen to gain some more confidence, get some more reps in, and continue to build that skill set.
Brown driving, stuffed by 2 RedHawks. She'll kick it out to the far corner. 3 measured up for there, from there by Liz Murphy, and that was way short. RedHawks get the rebound. Herho runs it up the court. Around the arc to the far side, Edwards. She'll spot up with a triple, and that is off right. Tie up on the rebound, and a jump ball is called. Akron has the possession arrow, and they will take over with 4.5 left to go. 27-point lead for Miami. RedHawks no stranger to blowout wins this season. It had really been a number of years, though, since Miami had truly run a team over, so to speak. And now it's a very good sign of progress to not only see the RedHawks do that once, but really 3 or 4 times this year already. Drive to the inside on Bratton, and it's a blocking foul as Clark tosses it up and in, and one for Clark, who's padded the stats here late with a few buckets up to 11 points. And Bratton will head over to talk to Glenn Box as Clark will head to the free throw line. Ira Clark at the stripe. Puts the and one free throw in to make it 67-43. Inbound to Emily Bratton, carrying it down the right side. She'll go between the legs on the dribble and slow her step as she crosses the timeline. Herho now from the near wing. Cuts it diagonally, stops at the block. She fell down, and a blocking foul is called on Murphy, who bumped her to the ground. It's her second, and with 4:04 left to go in the game, a baseline inbound for Miami's Claire Chambers from the second M in Miami on the far side. She gives into the far corner, into Ria Herho. Picks up her dribble on the far angle. Overhead pass to DeFries in the corner. Pump fakes a three and pulls it back down. Now it's Jackson from the right side, crossing over into the lane, hangs up and just missed it underneath the basket. Rebound picked up by Brown, who runs it ahead. Weaving through the traffic, Brown had it stripped away, but last touch by Miami as the ball rolls out of bounds. 67-43 RedHawks, 3:43 to go in the fourth quarter. Looking ahead for Miami at the schedule, Kent State, Toledo, the last 2 games in January. They'll start February with 2 home games against Ohio and Eastern Michigan. Brown takes the inbound pass, jabs, and will slither in with the left hand to lay it home.
And it's been all Shelby Brown tonight, 15 points for her, and she has been on a mission, driving to the cup, head down, and scoring 4 field goals tonight in the paint.
Wraparound pass to the near block for DeFries. Triple team, kick out Bratton, her three. She's got it. All net for Emily Bratton. Timeout by Miami and Glenn Box. And with 3:17 to go, RedHawks will head back to the drawing board and make a few adjustments, leading 70-45. Just over 3 on the clock. And Emily Bratton with her first bucket of the night. Making her 10th appearance of the season. She went off in the Tiffin game, which was her best of the year.
It's good to see her back out there. RedHawks love to have a weapon like her. Spot-up shooter, and she is a really good player, like you mentioned. Missed basketball in Ohio last year. Really talented player.
First team All-Ohio selection out of Bloom Carroll High School. Inbound pass, RedHawks heavily pressuring, and Akron will barely get out of it as Visicki had to run down a loose ball that was picked away from Murphy to avoid the turnover. Zips can now slow things down on the front court. Clark from the left elbow trying to hand off for Visicki. She fumbled the handoff but picks it back up off the floor. 10 to shoot. On the far side, Clark just looking around for an option. Instead, she'll drive in and commit an offensive foul as Chambers this time will take the charge. And that's number 5 for Naira Clark, whose day is done.
Naira Clark, came ready to play. 12 points, 4 rebounds, and a really shorthanded Akron team. They were missing a ton of players. This kind of reminds me last year of Miami's team. They had a ton of injuries. Akron kind of in a similar boat here, and they're going to be without her for about 3 minutes.
2:47 to go in the game. It's Miami 70 and Akron 45. Emily Bratton running the point for the RedHawks. Jackson straight away to the near wing for Claire Chambers. Well, the two players from the staff previous, Chambers fed Nuria Herho straight away three, was missed off the left side. Brown gets the rebound for Akron into the front court. She gave it away. Herho down the center of the court. Bounces off for Jackson, going under the block. She gets fouled. And Camille Jackson will go to the free throw line. Foul is against Maddie Vasicki. She gets her fourth, 2:20 left in the game. Shelby Brown will be checked out by Ryan Gensler. He's got his arm around her, giving her some instruction as she heads back to the bench. Jackson can't connect on the first free throw. Illinois transfer, former blue chip recruit, a four-star Camille Jackson rattles through the second free throw. Make it 71-45. Rashid accelerating it across the timeline, bouncing off into a quick three, hit by Liz Murphy. Freshman from Australia, one of the couple players wasn't on the roster at the beginning of the year. Murphy buries the basket, and with 2 minutes to play, it's 71-48. Miami over Akron as the RedHawks will go slow here. Chambers from the left angle, wraps it inside. DeFries, though, couldn't handle the pass, and Miami gives it away. Rashid takes it forward, chest pass Murphy, fakes, drives, some contact, but she'll kick out instead for Rashid. Online with the three-pointer. And so that trims the lead back down to 20 with 90 seconds to go, 71-51, and now Glenn Box is just pointing all over the court, directing traffic as he gives the play call.
That was the sixth three-pointer of the second half for Akron. Much better effort.
Didn't make any in the first half. Bratton takes a cross-court pass into a three, and she's got it. 2 threes for Emily Bratton here late. And the freshman's got a half dozen points tonight. Now on the left side, Liz Murphy will step it into the arc and feed to the corner. Drive in, and a finger roll by Murphy, rolls over the heel, no good. The RedHawks get the rebound. Miami trying to push from right to left, but Bratton threw it away from Claire Chambers in the corner, and the RedHawks will turn it over with 47.5 left on the clock and a 23-point Miami lead. All across the timeline. Now it's Rashid holding next to the right hip. Pump fakes a couple passes inside. She'll give up top for Vasicki. Now for Rashid again. Plays catch with Murphy in the corner. Rashid at the left angle with 10 to shoot. Up for Murphy, who fumbled on her way through trying to drive, and the RedHawks take it away. Bratton drives in, tosses it up, and scores. A tough basket there for Emily Bratton. In transition with a fall away from about 10 feet. And a whistle here. Miami's going to take that opportunity to bring Lucretia Edwards in for Ilsa DeFries, so we'll get an ovation as she heads to the bench for what will probably be the final time. 76-51, the Miami lead with that most recent Emily Bratton bucket. 8 points, a really solid few minutes for Bratton here late. And really everything you wanted for Miami in this game. Not only did you get the lead and you'll ultimately get the win, but you had a chance to clear your bench out and really get some valuable minutes for a lot of players. DeFries came off the floor, then she was most recently just brought back on and now brought back off the floor again, and Edwards is permitted to come into the game. I have no idea what that stoppage was about, but regardless, Akron will take it up the floor with no shot clock and 11 seconds to go. Looking for one final shot. Vasicki with a nice no-look pass to the near side. Rashid's three. She hits it. That was a beautiful swing by Vasicki from the baseline all the way to the outside, but it won't matter as time's going to run out. A couple of late buckets from Akron, but The Storm had already ripped through by Miami, and the RedHawks absolutely dominate for a full 40 minutes on their way to a blowout 76-54 win tonight. It's a rebound from that ugly loss against Buffalo on the road on Saturday. The RedHawks have got the confidence back before a marquee matchup coming up on Saturday against Kent State. Andrew, this was a win that really had that Glenn Box flavor to it. It started on the defensive end of the floor, getting stops, forcing turnovers, only giving up 2 field goals in the first half, and forcing 15 Akron turnovers. This is exactly the way Miami not only wants to play, but wants to win.
Absolutely, and this was a full team effort. 12 players checked in for Miami. They took care of business. 4 players in double figures. And man, oh man, forcing nearly 30 turnovers. We've seen that movie plenty of times this season, putting up 76 points. This is an offensive juggernaut when they are on. And yeah, this is exactly a get-right game for the RedHawks. They got right, and they've got a big one coming up on Saturday. That should be must-see TV here in Oxford.
Speaking of Saturday, that's the next time we are on the air. Coming up at 1 p.m., the tip-off time, Miami and Kent State. Golden Flash team currently sitting in 3rd place in the Mid-American Conference standings. Should be a really fun matchup here at Millett Hall. Coverage begins at 12:30 with the Red Hawk Radio pregame show. And again, tip-off at 1 between the RedHawks and Golden Flashes coming up on Saturday. With the win, Miami now 11-6 overall, 4-3 in the Mid-American Conference. With the loss, Akron 9-10 and 3-4 in the MAC. And that will wrap things up for us here tonight from Millett Hall. We'll take a break, and when we come back, Gavin Stark has a Red Hawk Radio post-game stats and analysis from the game, and he will put a final bow on this one, a 22-point victory for Miami over Akron tonight. Again, final score 76-54 in favor of the RedHawks here from Oxford. For Andrew Relvas alongside, my name is Poley saying so long, and thanks for tuning into this presentation of Miami basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Post-game show coming up next.
A victorious night here for the RedHawks as they win 76-54 over the Akron Zips. Miami dominant performance for 40 straight minutes here tonight. Quarter to quarter, Miami led from start to finish. After a rocky start in the first quarter, they really put things together here. In that second half, an amazing performance, shooting the ball, as especially Miami 50% from the field in total, 30 for 60, just extraordinary numbers for them from the field. 9 for 23 from the three-point line, 39%, just shy of 40% from the three, so great shooting numbers for them tonight. One struggle for them was getting to the line, only getting to the free throw line 10 times, 7 for 10 from there. Only 2 people shot free throws tonight. That was Maya Chandler and Angelina Gonzalez. So didn't get to the line as much as they were maybe hoping for, but that didn't matter here tonight as they win comfortably by 22 over the Akron Zips. Akron shot the ball better in the second half by a lot. I mean, they only had 2 field goals in the first half. Now ended with 15, so 13 field goals made in the second half. They ended 15 for 42, 35% from the field. 7 threes in the second half. Extraordinary numbers for them from the three-point line. 7 for 22, 31.8%. So much better numbers for them tonight. One thing that stuck out is their points came from the free throw line. 17 free throws were made, 26 attempted. So honestly missed a few opportunities at the free throw line, but got to their free throw line a lot. So very impressive on that end, but not their night of actually. I mean, missing lots of key players, missing 5 total players. having to bring up some new players in their lineup just to fill out their roster. It was a tough night, and were not able to really perform at their highest level, some should say. Zakiah Rashid, 13 points for the Zips, 4 for 8 from the field, and those were all threes. All field goals were threes shot, so definitely a lot of threes shot for her. Made 4 of them, only missed 4. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. That is in 29 minutes. Shelby Brown, the best player on Akron tonight, 15 points, 4 for 8 from the field as well, 7 for 9 from the free throw line, and 11 rebounds, a double-double for her, and 4 steals. Extraordinary numbers there for her. She came to play for sure tonight and was really the bright spot for the Akron Zips in 28 minutes, hosting a double-double, 15 points and 11 rebounds. And Naheen Clark, 12 points, 3 for 4 from the field, 6 for 11 from the free throw line. So just missed a couple of free throws and could have been a lot more points for her, up to 17 if she would have just knocked those down. Did foul out, but also wasted 4 rebounds and a block in 19 minutes. So really good numbers for her, and that'll be the headliners for the Akron Zips. And over on the Miami end, 4 players in double digits and 2 just shy of double digits. Emily Bratton with 8 and Lucretia Edwards with 8. 2 bench players, they're playing really well. Something to look at. I mean, this team's deep. We've talked about this throughout this season and just keep getting better and better. And this team's a deep team. Glenn Box wants to play his bench, and he sure did that tonight. He got the opportunity to do that. And Emily Bratton, 3 for 3 from the field, 8 points. The freshman, former Ohio finalist for Player of the Year in the state. So a great in-state talent recruit coming out of high school. Only a freshman. Doesn't get much playing time, but when she does, she really shows a lot. I mean, she had 17 points against Tiffin earlier in this year and really shot the lights out. So doing a lot with her opportunities that she is given. But the starters, Maya Chandler, 10 points, 3 for 13 from the field. She did struggle from the field overall, but she found ways to get buckets in her 20 minutes of play. She also hoisted 1 rebound and only 1 turnover, so very efficient for her, for someone that has the ball a lot in her hands. Angelina Gonzalez, 15 points, 6 for 13, from the field goal, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals in 26 minutes. The best player on this Miami team, arguably, and the player of the week in the MAC. Did her thing tonight. She played excellent. Tamar Singer, the player that has the ball in her hands the most, some would say. I mean, she really is a great facilitator, a great point guard. Only shot the ball twice, but knocked down that 1 shot, and that was a 3-pointer. And she also had 1 rebound and 5 assists and 4 steals. She really does a lot on the court, not just scores. She's just kind of the Swiss Army knife, does everything for this team. The offense really runs through her. Elsa de Vries, what a game for the Dutch freshman. 14 points, 6 for 9 from the field, and 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 steals, 3 blocks, and 1 turnover. In 34 minutes, she played 34 minutes tonight. Absolutely perfect night for her, and her best performance here as a Miami RedHawk in her young career so far. I mean, just something you really want to see if you're Miami. Of course, you want to see these freshmen really blossom, and you're exactly seeing that from Elsa de Vries. She's really just been excellent. They start 2 freshmen on this team, and both of them have just played excellent tonight, and they've played excellent all season. And to round out, Amber Treader, 13 points, 6 for 7 from the field, 1 for 1 from the 3, 7 rebounds. Kind of had some foul trouble, but played 20 minutes, and those were her numbers. She played excellent, kind of the leader of this team, the sophomore that can do it all. Those are your stats for tonight. An amazing game for the RedHawks as they host Kent State here at Millett Hall Saturday at 1 p.m. We will be live coverage starting at 12:30, I believe. That'll be all for now as the RedHawks prevail to 11-6 and 4-3 in MAC play. I'm Gavin Stark. This is a RedHawk Radio post-game show. Thank you for listening, and have a great night.